this is a video all about the friendship between me and my friend Theresa, who I met at McDonald's, my first job I ever had back in 1998. To begin, January 1st, 1998 was my first day working at McDonald's by the Methuen Mall, which then became known as the Methuen Loop. My first day of work, I was supposed to be trained by a girl named Sonia, but she didn't show up that morning. She was sick, I believe. So then a very short girl comes onto the floor who had sort of like a little accent when she talked. She kind of sounded, I don't know, like French European. And she goes, "Hi, I'm Theresa. I'm going to train you today." I'm like, okay. Theresa went to Methuen High School. She was a grade above me. She was class of 1999, while I was class of 2000 at Central Catholic High School. And Theresa, she was a little on the slow side, but she was one of the best workers there. She became a crew chief before I did. She became a shift manager around the same time I did. But she was mad because my boss, Kelly, was making me a shift manager. And she's like, "I've been here longer than Mark." So we'll get to that in a few minutes. But to start off, I started there in 1998. And she was my crew trainer at first. And she was just a really nice girl altogether. She hosted a lot of birthday parties in the play place. She trained a lot of workers there. And she was a better student than I was. She usually got honor roll, like honors every quarter when she was in high school. I think she missed it one time, like 1 year. Cause like she told me her social studies teacher 1 year did not like her. They were giving her like C's, but most of the time she made honor roll. She was admired, and I was admired by nighttime customers, Sam Griffiths and Marie Dragon. They were two original customers there. They went to the store every night. And in 1999, she was going to her senior prom. I said, "Theresa, I'll take you." "No, I'm going to go with Richard. Richard is like always causing so much trouble. Richard got fired at McDonald's. And said he's going to take you? I don't think so." "Oh, Mark, take a chill pill, Mark." That was her phrase to me. "Take a chill pill, Mark." And as it turns out, Richard did not go to the prom with her. So I heard, she told me she danced by herself the whole night. And I was like, "Oh, that's great." I'm like, "Serves you right. You didn't want to go with me." So then I was just a bugger with her. I mean, she was one of my best friends there, but I was a bugger to her. Oh boy, I was a bugger to so many people there. My friend Benny, I was a bugger to him, but to Theresa, Jesus Christ, we'd be in the drive-thru as a team getting stuff done, and I just started going crazy because like there was so much stress going on. So I just pretend I was my grandmother, calling me a sniffy face. I go like, "Too fat, too fat," and she'd be like, "Mark, take a chill pill, stop." And then our assistant manager, Sheila, like looked at me. She like smiled, shook her head. She was like, "Mark, Theresa's gonna like slug you one at some point." Like she was more relaxed. She was also on the stressed out side, as we all were, but I was the more peppy one, the more, zany one, running around, changing my voice, being weird, always wanting to move to LA, talking about Melrose Place and TV shows, singing, voice acting. And she was more relaxed, more carefree, loved music. So, and then in 2000, I was going to my prom, and I said, "Hey," I asked everyone as a joke, "Would you want to go to the prom with me?" And one of the girls was like, "No," and she walked away. I asked everybody at McDonald's, and then I said, I want to ask Theresa, but she didn't want to go with me to her prom. So Sam and Marie, I was talking to them about it, and then Marie talked to Theresa. She goes, go to the prom with Mark. You know, you went to your prom alone. And like, if you don't go to the prom with him, he's not going to go to his prom. So then Theresa goes, all right, I'll go with you. So she was my prom date. In 2000, we went to the prom May 5th, 2000, which was supposed to be the end of the world, according to like prophecies of a new millennium, which aired on Fox in the summer of 1997. So after that point, Callie, our boss, made me a shift manager in the fall because Benny, the opening manager, transferred to the Haverhill Street McDonald's. And then Theresa was like, that's not fair. I should be a shift manager too. I'm like, Theresa, you will be one. It's going to be all right. And then, thinking of my great theme songs, I made up the everything is all right. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything is all right. We're getting into a brand new day now. Everything is all right. Everything's gonna be just fine. Everything is all right. When you're Theresa, when you're Theresa. Oh, 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 wow. And that was her theme song. That was like one of the first theme songs I ever made up over the years for one of my friends. So she became a shift manager right after that. And then I stayed at the store when I got hired at when I got accepted to Nova Essex Community College. I was there into the fall of 2000. And then Kelly made me switch stores to the Pleasant Street McDonald's because they needed people there. And that was my way out. That spring, they needed more workers at that store, so I'd give Theresa a ride, I think, to work and then back home every day when we work. And she was my last shift at McDonald's. She was working with me that night, and I gave her a ride home in the end of March of 2001. So I could say my first shift was with Theresa, and my last shift at McDonald's was with Theresa. And then Theresa, she left McDonald's a few years later. I think it was 2003. And then she went to Sunoco in Methuen by Merrimack Street. And she was there for years. She was there. She worked at Burger King a little while, Heavenly Donuts a little while. But she'd always end up back at Sunoco. In 2005, I got accepted to UCLA. So I just ran into Sunoco. I'm like, Theresa, I got into UCLA. And her coworker was in there just like, didn't say anything, was like, just like looking at me. I was like all going nuts, you know how I am. But I was like so happy because I had been talking about this since like as I started at McDonald's in 1998 with Theresa. I was like, I'd love to move to LA someday. So Theresa was like one of my biggest supporters. Oh, Mark, that's so great. You always wanted to do that. I give Theresa rides everywhere. She never drove. I gave her rides everywhere. We drive everywhere together. We go shopping together, go to the stores together, just driving around together. That's what we love to do. So then I moved to LA, and every time something big would happen, or monumentous, I'd always call her. Theresa, guess what? I met Annette Funicello's niece. Oh my gosh, she was my first kiss and more. Theresa, guess what? I get to work at The Price is Right. Theresa, guess what? I'm on Glee. Theresa, I'm calling you from Grey's Anatomy. I'm the son of Grey's Anatomy. Theresa, I'm at the set of Fuller House. Can you believe that? So every time something big happened, I'd always call her and like inform her what's going on. And we'd always just, oh, that's good, Mark. Sometimes she wasn't that interested. She wasn't that big on television, but she was my biggest supporter. She's like, Mark, maybe you'll get a line. I'm like, I love to get a line, but you know how much luck that takes to get a line? You can't just get it. You have to audition. You have to be ready for it. And hey, it just wasn't in the cards for me. But, she was one of my biggest supporters. And then in 2019, I moved home. And since then, we're right back where we started, me and Theresa. We're always hanging out. I'm driving her places. We go stores together. And I do that with all my friends. I take my friends anywhere they want to go. I've always been that way. Theresa, in 2010, I believe it was, met her boyfriend, Dustin, through, I think, the gym she was going to, or through a mutual connection friend. And they've been together since. And yeah, Theresa's just a really nice girl. She's a lot calmer than I am. And she's just a morally good person overall. And I'm proud to say she's one of my best friends.